Speaking of learning, Teresa, have you learned anything non-music, any sort of like fun quarantine influenced hobbies you've picked up lately?
Yeah, so I think this was early quarantine, or maybe it was like right before. I buy random stuff. So I bought myself a Shruti box. Um, so it's I wonder if I'm gonna go grab it. So I had read that this is like a smaller version of it. I'm pretty sure I pronounced it right, but if I didn't, we can go look it up. It's an Indian instrument. So I also teach world music. So I'm interested in like a bunch of instruments that I like, can barely pronounce half of the time in my classes, but it's really cool the different sounds and textures you can get. So I think this was during a period of time where I was just kind of not digging trumpet, and I had read in like a Facebook group that someone had used a Shruti box to just improvise over, and so I looked up. Oops, there it goes. I looked up a Shruti box, and I found one on Poshmark. Believe it or not, I don't know. It's really random, but it's an Indian instrument, and it's just like a drone. And someone in the Facebook group had mentioned how they would just use the Shruti box as a drone and solo over it, and it was really freeing for them, and it kind of gave them the love of trumpet back. So I have been a little bit into it. So it's like a bellowing instrument on either side, and it has this box in the center with holes that you can change the pitches. And let's see. And yeah, you can change the holes. So I've been kind of playing with that and soloing over, trying to figure out what key they're in, and it's really cool. I guess that's kind of trumpet related though too, but also I guess it's also kind of half trumpet related. But getting into playing with pedals, I have a pedal board now, which is really cool and interesting. It's another way to get different tones and sounds out of the trumpet. It doesn't. I mean, it's not practicing for me. It's just playing to me, so it doesn't really feel like I'm practicing or anything. I'm just like, oh, what can this pedal do? Oh, this is cool. What else can I do? What if I mix this pedal with this pedal? So yeah, those two things have been what I do when I'm like, all right, well, I don't really want to practice Arvins, but I want to see what key this part of the Shruti box is in.
I love it. You answered my question and my next question for you, which was going to be talking about your world music course and how it's informed your trumpet playing. So tick
Yeah.
both boxes there.
Yeah. It was that was teaching world music is another thing that kind of just happened as well. When I first moved back to Cleveland, I moved back here for one student at the Cuyahoga Community College, and so at that point it was 2009. I was working at Office Max in Cincinnati after I graduated from CCM. And I was like, I could either kind of try to, dig my way and find my way into the scene here in Cincinnati, or I could move back to Cleveland where I wasn't established here in Cleveland, but I had a couple more ins than I did in Cincinnati, and not, really work at Office Max as many hours as I did. And so I moved back to Cleveland. And so I was on staff at Cuyahoga Community College as an applied trumpet teacher. They wanted someone that was on the classical side because they already had a teacher. He's still there. Already have a teacher on the jazz side of things. So I was hired for students who wanted to focus in classical, which at the time and still now pretty non-existent. But I still teach trumpet there. And then they needed a teacher for world music. And one of my bosses there was like, hey, we are offering this class and we don't have a teacher for it. Would you like to teach world music? Well, that's kind of, first they asked me to teach African American music history. I don't have a degree in that, but interested, so I agreed to do that. And then like 2 years later, the same thing happened with world music. So it's like another instance or two where I do these things that I'm really scared of, and they turn out. And now I've been teaching world music, I think, since 2016 or so. Yeah, so now I can say I know what I'm doing and talking about, talking about in that field.